Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play One True Pass, a free-to-play game that was released on the Steam store yesterday, September 25th, 2024. It did release in early access, and let's just go ahead and let's click New Game. I did play some yesterday, and I really enjoyed this game, although there were some issues, some concerns. But it is a nice game. My main complaint is just some of the VR decisions, some of the interactions are a bit outdated. And obviously, one of them is this nodal teleportation that they rely on.
Welcome, adventurer. You've found your way to fiendish fates, now by phone. Calls cost 40 cents per minute plus service fees. No refunds. Ask your bill payer. Now, enter a number and get ready to choose your fiendish fate.
Look at this mess. Murdered twice over. Once with a dagger. Okay, fine, classic. But in the back? Just before we finished our last masterpiece, and by one of those we trusted most. It's the cliche that kills me. I mean, figuratively speaking. Oh, there were many hands on that blade, but only one of them. The lawyer, the publisher, the agent, and yes, the muse. Only one of the sods could actually have crept in here and done the deed. Look around. They were searching for something. Something in the last books.
One thing I really like about this game is the storytelling. The story might seem a little, cliche by the numbers at first, but as the story goes along, you see there's a lot more there than what it originally appears to be there. I don't like this vignette, so anytime that you turn, I'm using smooth turning, the fastest speed possible. It uses this vignette. There's no way to disable it, unfortunately. But you see there the knife in the back. And
lift the handset, type the number, and re-enter our worlds of fiendish fate.
Great, thanks. You're really twisting the knife now.
Yes, I am. And you see like a little guide there of what we can expect to happen. But let's go ahead. Let's do what the game wants us to do, which is to do this. And we're going to enter 279. 279.
The peasants have sheltered you too long already. The undead army approaches. It is time.
So there's...
Heart pounds as your eyes adjust to the darkness inside the temple. Its wall carvings record the glorious kingdom of old Belleroth, long since shadowed by darkness. The deeper darkness of a gruesome past and a more frightful future. A lone raven caws its gore hunger. Caw, caw. In the distance, the village's bell tower still tolls its warning. Dong, dong, dong. Then, suddenly, ceases. Are you already too late?
So I'm not a big fan of nodal teleportation, but I do like the art style of this game. I think the art style is pretty good. It's interesting.
Long ago, you hid your beloved blade in this crypt, hoping you had both seen your last battle. But foul necromancy laughs in the face of hope.
And I think this comic book type themed art style, fits the narrative perfectly. And I've already played this game, so I already know what to do. So let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. That was the secret.
You forged the twin blade together with your most trusted kinsman. Time corrupts all, especially the human heart. But this enchanted steel shines yet.
I am playing seated, and
Glinting in the dark, the ensorcelled sword. Formidable alone, but once reunited with its twin blade, it will be an unstoppable smiter of evil.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. But like I said, I don't like this. I don't like the slow, smooth turn speed. I don't like the vignette that's being forced on me, and I don't like the nodal teleportation. But I like the art style. I think it matches the narrative perfectly, and I do like the storytelling.
An advanced scout of the undead army rises before you. You must fight. Quickly, you dispatch it back to the grave. Your blade sings, hungering for more.
And
take one last breath of musty temple air. Ahead, only bloodshed awaits. But no one else can stop the army of evil. You must choose your fiendish fate.
Jack Stevenson's Army of Evil, Fiendish Fates. Now, I think if I understand
They
the...
said I'd lost my touch. All right, it's a familiar story. Man versus betrayer, man versus self, man versus skeleton.
As I was saying, I actually do like the gameplay. Obviously, this is not a game focused on, sword fighting. So, I'm not going to compare it to the best sword fighting games in VR, the best action combat games in VR. But it works, and it's pretty functional, and it's better than a lot of other sword fighting games. To be honest, it works. Not the best, but better probably than the average one. Because a lot of them are terrible. But like I said, I like the narrative.
At last, a spiritual sequel to Castle of Evil, the book that started it all. What made us return to the dark world of Belleroth? Okay, yes, the money. But also, we had a score to settle.
And like I said, I really like the storytelling. The voiceovers are done pretty good, in my opinion. And I believe, if I understand the early access page correctly, there's like 3 different stories that kind of branch in together. And it's sort of like choose your own adventure almost, although you don't really have that much of a choice, really. There's a ring here. I don't know if you can actually put the ring on. I tried, but it just doesn't seem to work. The muse. And I don't know if you can actually change the music. There's several different items you can pick up. Okay, let's just go and start the adventure. So now, as you can see, there's a different number now. Actually, by the way, you can pick these up.
A page from Army of Evil.
And so And so now we're at 163, so that's the number that we're going to enter. So we're going to do this again. 163.
Sword in hand, you go from the temple
And
into
next
the
step, we'll have like a little
river
branching storyline where we can choose.
Can you make it back to the village before the army arrives? Already the dead stir. Advanced scouts of the evil army rise from befouled earth.
So like I said, not the best combat, but pretty functional. It works, and it's actually better than a whole lot of other sword fighting games that I played in VR.
Your blade undoes
It works,
the necromancer's foul art.
And it actually gets harder now that there's 2 of them. It's not always obvious how to block. But like I said, as long as you're not brain dead, you should be able to do this.
You can hear the army's drums now. You must get to the village straight away. But by which path? Brave the forest road, or shortcut through the catacombs when the dead yet walk abroad?
Now, the combat actually does get a bit more complicated once they both attack you at the same time, and you'll see that in a little bit. But now we're going to the next chapter, and we're going to choose. So we have to choose
Don't
here.
get lost in the subtleties of the prose now. It's hard not to savor every word. But there's a mystery in these pages, and we need to find it.
Now, for being free to play, I have to say I really have enjoyed this. Now, I have two different choices. I can choose 339, where we hurry through the catacombs, or where we go through the forest road. Now, I already know what happens, and I already know which to choose, but I'm going to... Spoiler alert, I'm going to choose the wrong one on purpose because I want you guys to see it.
Prisoners of the Cyberhound.
So this is the wrong choice.
You hurry through the catacombs. The shriek of bats your only company.
You are sure this was the right path, aren't you? You are suddenly surrounded by a galaxy of tiny white fangs and tinier red eyes. Leathern wings smother your screams as the demon bats strip the flesh from your bones. Your adventure ends here. Found the dead end, did you? I always did like opening up a trapdoor right below their feet. Life will not be fair, especially to our young readers, poor little nerds. Better they learned that from us. I mean, we used to be them.
So one thing I want to make clear is that this game is not a combat or action combat or sword fighting game. It's a narrative focused game, and then in the other chapters, it actually goes like to a different kind of game. It's more of a shooter, and then in another chapter, it's more of a puzzle game. But the one thing holding it all together is this narrative that goes in different directions, but then comes together. And for being early access and for being free to play, this is really good. This is surprisingly good. I was not expecting it to be this good, but it does have some issues as highlighted. I don't like the vignette forced on you when smooth turning, and I don't like that it's nodal teleportation. Now, there's probably nothing that can be done about the nodal teleportation.
Lucky not to lose your footing to treacherous roots and conniving thickets.
Because the gameplay is the game is built around nodal teleportation. I don't think that's something that can be changed. You know, they'd have to...
You hear blades clash and horses scream fit to wake the devil, though in Belleroth the devil is already up and well breakfasted.
But like I said, I really like the art style. Like, it's a simple art style, but it's done well. If it wasn't for the vignette, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more. And I believe this is the only one that's black and white. I don't believe the other two chapters are. Okay, here's where I said it gets a little bit more interesting. We're going to fight two of them at the same time. And I am playing seeded, so keep that in mind. So that was a lot more difficult, but
victory is
there we go.
As their skulls.
I probably
all around our wretched peasant bodies, cut down as they fled. Is it already too late to save the village?
I probably made it look a lot easier than it was, because I'm just that good. So I don't know if you can do something here. If there is, I haven't figured it out. I just know you can go over here, but I don't know that you can actually do anything. But that's okay. We're gonna go over here. And we're going to cut down this tree.
With the path now unobstructed, you quicken your step. You might yet have a chance to avert impending disaster.
Obviously, we make the wagon that was in the way move out of the way. In my shadow waiting. Chris, wife, muse, ghostwriter. So we found this little piece here that was crucial to our little adventure. I don't know. Can you not print? I guess not. I thought you could pick that up, but maybe you can't. I would actually, if there's one thing I would suggest to the developer, is let us climb that ladder. Like it's so immersion breaking when you just automatically go up a ladder. This is VR. You can climb up the ladder. It makes it feel more immersive that way. So we're gonna go again.
In a clearing,
See if
you
we
come upon a cart ambushed by the undead.
So yeah, we made it look very easy. I mean, like I said, not the best combat in VR, but actually better than the combat in a lot of VR games because it's pretty bad in
At the village's
a lot of
edge,
VR
you
games.
spy a gaunt, all too familiar silhouette. It is their dread general, the betrayer of Belleroth, and once upon a time, your most trusted kinsman, the Grey Knight.
All dead, but no sign of the hero, your worship.
A skeleton henchman reports. The army is moving on, searching for fresh blood. And
I really like this art style. Like I've always said, you don't need the highest fidelity graphics. You don't need the highest textures. You don't need that.
Mere hours ago, the village was abustle with life. Now it's as silent as a freshly desecrated tomb. You swear an oath. Here, now, you begin your campaign to finally vanquish the Grey Knight. But where shall you begin?
I think the problem with graphics for a lot of VR games is that a lot of them are very generic, and they look like they're taken from the asset store. That's not the case in this game. You can tell the artwork is original, and it was made with love and care and detail. And that's why it looks good in VR.
Yes?
All my things are in the car, Jack.
What?
I told you it would be today.
But there's still so much to say.
Well, then why haven't you?
All right. I mean, I know I'm not an easy man to love.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But do you have to take everything from me, Chris?
I'm not taking anything I don't deserve, Jack.
My legacy, my dignity as an artist.
Oh, listen to yourself. Sign the papers. Then we can both start to move on.
Bloody lawyers. Did you have to turn Terry against me as well?
Terrence is just doing his job. And look, Marianne says you've missed some deadlines. She's worried about you.
Don't.
And yes, I'm worried about you.
So I missed some deadlines. You take away a man's muse, what do you think is going to happen?
Muse? Is that what you think? You know what? Fine. Typical. If you can't finish the books without me, then what does that tell you, Jack? Sign the papers or I'll take you to court, and then that'll be both our bloody legacies.
Shit.
But you don't. So I want to actually look at these before I teleport. But where shall you begin? Skeleton report to the Grey Knight they haven't found the hero in the village, so they are leaving. Mere hours ago, the village was a bustle with life. Now it's as silent as a freshly desecrated tomb. You swear an oath. Here now you begin your campaign to finally vanquish the Grey Knight. But where shall you begin? All right, not bad. I wonder, can we play with anything else? It doesn't look like it. So we're going to teleport. And again, one thing I don't like about nodal teleportation is that it's very immersion breaking, and especially since now we're going to go through the table here. But obviously we need to pick up this, which is another piece of the story. And then we go back to our room.
Nothing hurt like her.
And like I said, this is where
Let's get back to it. The sooner you find out who's responsible, the sooner we can, well, move on, I suppose.
Now, I'm going to end the video pretty soon, but I do want to show that the game does change. So we're just going to show that real quick. Is there something here? No, I don't think so. Is there? No. You know what? I don't want to waste time. Let's just go. So 232. So I'm going to just show it real quick, and then I'm going to stop the video.
Plasmoid light blinds you.
But
You've returned to consciousness at last, and immediately you wish you hadn't.
like I said, this is free to play, so I recommend you download this game.
There is only one place in the galaxy.
This is one of the better free to play games on the Steam store.
The vast vivisection ship Butcher 09. Before you, a monstrous crystal extraction apparatus hums into life, ready to harvest life gem energy from innocent spacefaring specimens of the crystallian species, such as yourself.
So you.
Oh, here's our little troublemaker. Most intriguing.
Your borrowed body shudders as floating vid screens display your cackling captor, the murder mogul Oriana.
I saw your little brain trick. The gems in your body must have a rare power. Minion, shock the science team awake. They must dissect this one most thoroughly.
Oriana has not yet discovered your most secret power, to mind jump. Now it is your only chance to survive and escape your fiendish fate.
So like I said, there's 3 different stories. They do kind of connect, and obviously the art style changes even for all of these. Look at other. Okay, so we're gonna mind jump. Wait.
You will never get used to the feeling of mind jumping into a new body. It's like turning yourself inside out. Psychokinetic flux surges through your body, but you're not out of the Plutonian plasma woods yet.
I don't know how you do. How do you do this? Now, this is a little bit harder than it should be. Let me try it this. Let me try. Let me try it. Let me try it this way. I know what to do. I'm just having trouble executing it. I'm not sure exactly why. Yeah, it shouldn't be this difficult just to turn a knob. Like, am I doing something wrong? I thought I had it. There we go. Okay. Well, obviously there's some issues with the gameplay here, and I'm not 100% sure how to fix it. But rather than spend more time here, because I already said I was going to end the video, I'd just like to say that I really enjoyed this game. It is free to play, so I highly recommend it. It's one of the better Steam VR games that are free to play. And if I have to rate it, again, just to let you guys know, I put price into account into my scores. So I might rate a free to play game like an 8 out of 10. That doesn't mean it's better than a paid game. Like if I gave Half-Life Alyx an 8 out of 10, keep in mind the price difference. You know, that's like I think when it released, it was a $60 game. So keep that in mind. I might give Half-Life Alyx an 8 out of 10, but that's a much higher score for the price than a free-to-play game that I would give an 8 out of 10. And I think I would give this game a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's really good, solid story, really good artwork, and the gameplay is not bad, but it's in early access, and there's just a little bit of jank to it. Like I said, like you saw, turning the knob, the forced vignette when you're trying to turn, and the nodal teleportation is always going to be there, but that is something that holds it back as well. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my Let's Play, early impressions, not a full review, but this is really good for free to play. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Good night.